Let me start with something slightly uncomfortable. Most management advice has a shelf life of about 5 years. Think about the last 2 decades. We had reengineering, we had balanced scorecard, we had Six Sigma, lean, agile, digital transformation, and now we have AI. Each one came with the same promise: land on Mars. This changes everything. Sometimes it does, but most often it does not. Most organizations do not really fail because they missed a framework. They fail because managers could not turn ideas into action. And that is true for all of these topics that I shared with you. That is the real problem, that managers are unable to turn ideas into action. All these ideas are fantastic. They all could have delivered, and I'm sure AI will also deliver. The interesting part is that a book written more than 30 years ago saw this clearly. The book is by Nitin Nohria and Robert Eccles, called Beyond the Hype. The authors asked a very simple question: what do managers actually do? Not what they say. What do they actually do? Not what the framework suggests. What do they actually do? And their answer was very, very practical. Managers exist to get people to take the right action, not to create more analysis, not to create more presentations, to make things happen. Let me break this down into three core ideas from this book. Fantastic book and very, very practical book. If you didn't know who Nitin Nohria was, he's son of K.K. Nohria, a legendary Indian business person who was also CEO and MD of Crompton Reeves. Nitin himself went to the US and was eventually the dean of Harvard Business School. So I'm not talking about some other person around the corner, next lane kind of person, the dean of Harvard Business School. This book, of course, was written before he became the dean. Let me break down the ideas into three simple ones. They are simple but not easy. First idea: management is about action. Managers often confuse thinking with managing. They spend time analyzing, they discuss multiple options, they keep refining slides. But the job is not to study the problem forever. The job is to move the organization forward. That means taking some decisions, even when the data is incomplete, even when there is slight risk, because in real organizations, clarity is often partial. If you wait for perfect clarity, you will wait forever. Good managers act, they take action. That is what separates them from the others. Think about your own work. Are you spending more time analyzing, making PowerPoints, or deciding? That answer usually tells you a lot. Second idea from this book: language shapes organizations. Managers operate through words every day, in meetings, in emails, in presentations, in talks that they give. And words are not neutral, they shape how people think. They shape how people act. Let me give you a simple example. One leader whom I know often says, "We are always under threat." Another leader says, "We have an opportunity to reinvent." The facts are the same. One person is saying, "Our jobs are in trouble." The other person is saying, "We are here to reinvent." The messages are very different though, and the response from the team will also be very different. Leadership is not about passing on the pressure that you receive. It is about taking it as a sponge and passing on the relevant message so that it makes some sense. Not making it sound fancy, not hiding the problem, just making it clear enough for people to act. I'll make this a little bit more practical for you. The next time you are in a meeting, listen carefully. Are people using complicated language or are they being clear? Clarity is usually a sign of good thinking, or people have already given it some good thought. The third idea from this book is about identity drives motivation. Most organizations assume people are rational. People are not really rational. They assume people work for money. That is only partly true. People also care about their identity. They ask simple questions: do I belong here? Does my work matter? Am I proud of what I do? If the answer is yes, performance will improve. If the answer is no, you get the bare minimum, just what will let people keep their jobs. Managers who understand this build very strong teams. Others keep complaining about lack of ownership or lack of budget and lack of everything. Now let us connect all of this to AI, because this is where the confusion is. AI will generate ideas, it will generate reports, it will generate presentations. It will do all that faster for us, but there is a catch. Ideas are cheap, execution is not. I have not come across an AI as of now which will actually go and do the work for you, apart from agentic AI and all that. But execution of an idea is what managers excel at. Organizations will still succeed or fail based on three things: clarity of decisions, quality of communication, and ability to execute. I'll say this again: clarity of decisions, quality of communication, and ability to execute. AI cannot fully replace that. That is still your job. You may get ideas faster, but you are the one who's delivering that idea. What should you do? Let me keep things very simple. First, build judgment. Tools will keep changing, judgment stays. Second, improve your communication. If you cannot explain clearly, you cannot lead. You cannot even manage. Third, develop a bias for action. Do not wait for perfect clarity. Move things forward. Let me close with three sentences that stayed with me from this book. Management is about action, not analysis. Language does not just describe organization, it shapes them. People commit when their identity connects to work. Everything else is just hype. And the book is titled Beyond the Hype. If you thought this was a good summary, you might want to read the book Beyond the Hype. It's an old book, but the lessons are very, very correct. And if you found this useful, please consider subscribing to this channel. I bring about these ideas on careers, leadership, management, and getting better at work. I try and not bring any hype. I try and share only what works for me and others around me. If that is helpful, please subscribe. Till the next video, manage better.